Hi there. So, as many of you that watch my channel know, I do divination readings. I also am an intuitive person, and I get certain messages, you know, just certain inner knowings. I pick up on feelings, and I also get some clairaudient messages. I use divination tools, pendulum dowsing, and more recently tarot cards to verify the messages that I do get or the questions that come to me. And so I share what I've begun sharing what I get as far as truth goes, and I've begun also asking tarot and the pendulum. Now with this particular in this particular group, I did not go back and ask every single question with the tarot. Did about half. It's a little bit more involved, I think, because I don't know which ones are yes and which ones are no yet 100% with the tarot, so I have to go look them up. Okay. So, instead of reading the questions this time, my notebook that I had, all my 2020 readings are in, it is filled up. And so I've created a new notebook, and so I summarized all of the readings that I've done. And so I'm going to read the summary of the readings. And next video, I'd like to go back and read the summary of the whole year. But I'm not going to do that today. I have a little bit of a cold. And then I also, well, who knows what I had. I tell you, what I had in March, last March, I think that was the big C word, because it was terrible. This is nothing compared to that. But anyways, not the big C word. I guess that's something else, but the current C word. And I'm also going to read a chapter out of a book. And the reason I want to do this is because this is the only chapter, or the only place I have ever seen what I have tried to put into words, what I have intuitively known, but tried to put into words. It's the only place I've ever seen it. And as far as this book is concerned, I have been told by a close friend that was a higher up in the military that this is the closest thing that he's ever seen to what they were actually taught in special operations. So, and I'll link the book. Okay, so this realm reads that it is a time ship. I heard a time ship is a reality created by a group of souls, a Taurus. Each separate matrix is its own time ship. Those of us here are running this realm. Like our souls are running this realm. We're powering this realm. We're not running the realm as in controlling it. Our souls don't run more than one time ship at once. I've heard people say that they think that we're running multiple realities. No, we only run it once. In the physical, our awareness must be focused and can only be at one place at one time. I've had the reading that since 2018, when I first heard of a cyclical plasma storm where the dome of the earth breaks and sentient plasma comes in and cleans the realm of non-player characters and evil energies and fear. And I still get this reading that a cyclical catastrophe involving sentient plasma will occur in 2024. I've had that reading for 2 solid years. We need to have a death plan ready. Upon death is our one shot to get out of here before reincarnating and having to try again. If this realm ascends to 5D, which it is, there will be a long time before we cycle back through the dimensions back to 3D. 3D is where there's enough suffering for one to wake up to what's going on. Because what happens is if we go into 5D, your memory's going to get wiped again, you know, in between lives it always does. And then the higher the dimension, the more heavenly. So you only wake up like in 3D. That's really the only place that the soul wakes up. And so then when you get back up into the higher dimensions, apparently there's only like 12 or 13. When you get up there, they convince you to come back down here. They're like, oh, we need you to come back down here help free, liberate humanity. You know, you can come back up here after you're done, and then likely they probably don't let you because they tell you that you have karma attachments and all this. Oh, well, you got some karma while you were in there, so you're going to have to. And that's how they keep cycling you back through. Okay? So, it'll be a long time because Earth likely has ascended. Here, we've woken up too much, and so they will ascend the realm after reset. It'll be a 5D. So, after the cataclysmic reset. Not like financial reset, which the Matrix is doing right now. Okay, so 3D is where there is enough suffering for one to wake up to what is going on, that our being, our pure awareness is imprisoned in an artificial reality, and we want to get out of here. In higher realms, there is more bliss, and one may know he's in a fake reality, but you won't care as much. When you die, and, you know, be it all at once, like if we're in a mass exodus, or if you naturally die on your own, your spirit is immediately met with a tunnel of light upon exiting your flesh vessel. This light tunnel draws one in like a moth to a flame. It may not necessarily have suction, but it somehow hypnotizes the soul. You have to physically turn away from it, either try to roll out away from it, pull yourself away from it, turn away. It's a conscious action. Now, a friend of mine rolled out of it and alleged that he ended up in a pyramid. I did some asking about that, and I'll get to that. So a physical concerted effort must be made to leave this tunnel. If you go through, you will be reincarnated back to the earth. Mass exodus may give those of us wanting to leave an advantage. The soul suckers, which is the tunnel of light, may not be able to get us all at once if we had a mass exodus. It would seemingly be much easier to escape or get lost in the crowd and possibly unite with other spirits to gain power if there were a mass exodus. In the interim, we keep discerning information and exposing this matrix. Exposure is how to bring it down. We also try to keep the most positive mindset that we can and envision the best future as possible with the situation at hand. When one escapes the tunnel, he ends up in a pyramid in Antarctica. He needs to wish to go to the North Pole vortex or physically try to escape the top of the pyramid and fly there if willing it doesn't work, because it should work like in the astrals. Once you're in your spirit body, you shouldn't have to actually fly there to the North Pole, but you may have to. I can't say. Hold on just a second, I gotta check on her. Oh, okay. So make sure she was doing okay. She's being too quiet. Sometimes that means she's into something, but she's just sitting there quietly playing. Okay. Okay. Now, the image on the moon is the image of our virtual universe, the artificial reality that we reside in. Each crater is a Taurus, or another realm. The stars are a map of the other Taurus fields / realms. They would likely match up exactly with the craters on the moon if you actually put the map of our sky on the craters. Egyptian pharaohs are still alive, and they live in Switzerland. Which ones, I did not ask. I also didn't ask if they were older than the Egyptian times. I sense yes. These beings are in physical vessels and transfer their awareness to new bodies when the one that they're in gets old. They drink gold to keep the vessel young and live longer than the average human. They are not Homo sapien. They have the elongated skulls. They're another type of humanoid, like, one before Homo sapien was ever here. Homo sapiens were created out of a mixture of the DNA of 13 star races. It was supposed to be 12, but the reptilians insisted on being included. Homo sapiens ended up having reptilian brains, hearts, lymphatic system, and more. Now, okay, I get the reading that the Nordics and reptilians created Homo sapiens. And the Anunnaki created a previous humanoid race. Now, the Lyrans were the first humanoid race in existence, and they were created by the felines. Lyra was destroyed, and the Lyrans are spread throughout the universe with no home. The Lyrans were the original humanoids on Earth. And then I want to read the book, this book. Oh dear, where's my, oh here. I want to read a chapter out of a book. And the book is called Blue Blood, True Blood. And it's by Stuart Swerdlow, and this is chapter 1. In the beginning, God existed as a mind and nothing else. All there was, is, and ever will be is mind. It has no idea where it came from. It only knows that it has always existed and has no end. It allows for all thought and ideas to come to fruition somewhere within itself. It allows any and all events to occur, so in this way it knows itself. It does not directly interfere with the personal lives of its thought creations. It does not have an agenda. Contrary to popular belief, it does not judge, interfere, or change anything that is already created. It allows for free will of all creations within itself. In this way, all possibilities unfold. Nothing is ever stopped from being. Humans may judge events and other beings as good or bad, positive or negative, but to the God mind, they are simply pieces of itself. The limited human mind cannot comprehend the enormity of creation. There are many names for this overall intelligence. It is called God, God mind, all that is, universal mind, cosmic intelligence, hyperspace, supreme being, and the Almighty, among other names. Gender-oriented terms such as Father, Father God, Father Mother, Him, and His Holiness are really not appropriate because this intelligence is genderless. Male and female segregation only exists in the divisional physical realities. This initial supreme energy exists in a hyperspace state with controlling intelligence. I refer to this as the language of hyperspace and write about it extensively in a book, The Healer's Handbook, A Journey into Hyperspace. This is a state of being that is pure energy, oblivious to time or space. Here, there is instant transmission of thought and concept. The method of communication is via color, tone, and archetype symbol. This is the foundation of all creation. In this light, as God-mind thought about itself and what it was, thought forms were created that self-perpetuated in creative thought. As this energy became self-aware, all the other forms or levels began to exist simultaneously. All levels of consciousness create levels underneath them. Like begets like. Each level is supportive and sustains the other levels. This is how existence breathes. As above, so below. These thought forms created other thought forms, and so on and so on. In this way, what is commonly referred to as Christ consciousness and the angelic hierarchy were manifest. With each manifestation, or level, is equal to every other. Where intelligence is focused gives a perspective to the consciousness. In actuality, all mind and soul personalities exist at all levels simultaneously. However, lack of understanding and scope prevent full awareness of the totality. Eventually, a circle of creation is formed that feeds back to the original God mind, rather than a straight line as commonly thought. This is represented in the toroid shape. This was discovered when the ancient Hebrew language was entered directly into a computer and the Bible skip sequences were decoded. Those who control this world only allow a fraction of this information released. The ancient Kabbalists and members of the secret orders of ancient Egypt and Atlanta knew about this for millennia. Approximately 5 billion years ago, angelic-like beings entered this Milky Way galaxy and attempted to experience life in a physical universe. These angelic beings who entered into this physical plane quickly became both physical and non-physical simultaneously. The secret government refers to this condition of existence as extraterrestrial. Alien, in government terms, refers to purely physical beings from another physical world in the physical universe. I will use the same distinction in this book. Over the 4 billion linear years that these beings existed in this galaxy, they occupied a star system known as Lyra. This location can be considered the birthplace or homeland to all humanoid beings in this galaxy. At this point, the Lyrans had not yet experienced complete corporal life. They were mostly energetic, physically projecting only when absolutely necessary to experience physical sensations. At Montauk, we were told that the physical beings from another parallel universe entered into this reality and were guests of the Lyrans. These guests from the other universe, or old universe, as referred to by the Montauk scientists, enamored the extraterrestrial Lyrans, enticing them to stay increasingly in the physical. Eventually, all of the guests from the old universe passed away, but the Lyrans who stayed began remaining so long in the physical that they became trapped in the physical dimension. This is referred to as the fall from grace by many traditional religions. Because the Lyrans were never completely physical, they did not develop weapons. This left them quite vulnerable. Now trapped in the physical dimension, they could no longer use their minds to create whatever they needed. Instead, they had to rely on their bodies to do the work. Their mental connection to their higher selves allowed the creation of technology and sustained physical needs. However, the idea of war or violence did not enter into their mind patterns. Over linear time, now in a physical state, the Lyran society became fragmented. The Lyrans segmented into groups with similar mind patterns. To understand this, use the analogy of a school where the students have clubs based on likes and dislikes. Each of the various groups dress differently, relate to the God mind differently, and even develop their own manner of speech and communication. All this breeds segregation rather than unity. Segregation leads to weakness and lack of cohesion, which in turn leads to vulnerability. When the links of a chain are made of different material, the chain can be more easily broken. And that's very true. Humanity needs to get rid of all these, seeing each other as different colors and all this. There's a certain... Now, there is a difference in the type of awareness that someone has. And if it's a toxic person, you should avoid them. But then like-minded people that are also heart-centered and empathetic and, very caring, that's who you need to communicate with. Okay, so... where are we at? So that was the chapter I wanted to read. And that book is called Blue Blood, True Blood by Stuart Swerdlow. And I will link a link. It's an excellent book. Okay. Homo sapiens were created as a worker race to mine gold. And this is the last page. Mine gold and other minerals. The huge ancient trees were cut down for there was gold in them. Earth used to be silicon-based versus carbon-based, and it was the gold that they wanted out of the trees. Our realm may be a ship, but it doesn't move. I get that it is a time ship, and then I've already covered that the Taurus. Now, I feel that the Taurus is likely unseen, and the firmament is the net caging us in here physically. I did not ask on these yet, but I have them listed too. But I do get the reading that our position in space does not ever change. Reset is underway. I have heard some speculate it may not have been fully begun or fully initiated, but I do not get that reading. I get that it was fully started. I have not questioned exactly when it started or how long it takes, but that's also on my next to-do list. Intuitively, I want to say 7 years, but I don't know why I say that. I have no idea. It is said that tarot was created in Egypt. I've been doing a lot of tarot readings, and I was just... and I get that they were created prior to Egypt, and for some reason the Tuatha De Danann popped into my mind, or Celtic. They were Celt, but I don't know that either. Okay. We should not use the help of gods or goddesses or angels or spirit guides. These are archons, beings run by the matrix itself, artificial awareness, not pure beings. But fairies, elves, and dragons may help us and are good to work with. Now, there is something called the Sidhe. It is spelled S-I-D-H-E. This is a race of inner earth beings, and this has popped up for me like 3 times in the past month, and I've never heard of them before in my life. And so I asked several things on them. They are neutral. They're like gods and goddesses. They won't hurt you, but they really won't help you. And so you should not call on them. It is a waste of time. And that is what I have this time. Like I said, I will I might try to organize this a little bit, but then again, it's a lot of writing. It took me a long time to write this out. I might just read the whole summary next time. And then that way, if you haven't seen any of my previous artificial reality videos, on the next one, we can catch up and go from there. And it might help, you know, some of you that have watched and maybe you don't remember what I said, or you don't fully comprehend, or missed part of it. Who knows? I don't know who even watches my videos, but I do appreciate everyone that does. Absolutely all of you. Thanks so much to my patron, Sean. That really helps me out. Boosts my morale, you know, and financially, I really don't have a ton of money, so anything helps, especially when I'm using my time to do this. And if you like my channel, please share, subscribe. Have a great day.